Humans were never meant to worship strangers. For most of history, the only faces that mattered were the ones within reach, the tribe, the family, the few who could keep you alive. But somewhere along the way, survival changed. Now, billions bow before glowing rectangles, watching, scrolling, cheering for people they will never meet. We call it admiration, but it might be something else. A quiet exchange. Our attention for their illusion, our identity for their image. Celebrity worship isn't admiration. It's the gentle surrender of the self, disguised as love. Psychologists have a name for this quiet devotion: celebrity worship syndrome, a measurable obsession where admiration becomes identity. It begins in the circuitry of the mind, a network designed for connection, now lost in simulation. When we see a famous face, our dopamine system stirs, the same spark that once rewarded the sight of an ally, a potential friend, a leader who could protect the tribe. But the modern tribe is digital, and its leaders are pixels. Our mirror neurons, built to imitate those we live beside, now mimic voices from across the world. We laugh when they laugh, grieve when they cry, though they will never know our names. To the brain, this illusion feels real. It cannot tell the difference between presence and performance. Fame becomes a gravity well, and attention, the currency it feeds upon. Each glance, each click, another orbit drawn tighter around a distant star. The brain, this ancient tribal machine, is simply doing what it always has, searching for leaders in the dark, finding gods in the glow of glass. Studies in media psychology call it parasocial bonding, one-sided relationships that feel mutual, a strange emotional echo where no voice answers back. What began as empathy has evolved into orbit. We call it connection, but it's a one-way mirror, a parasocial relationship, one mind reaching out, another unaware it's being touched, a face glowing through glass, speaking only to you, every laugh, every tear, calibrated to feel personal, a perfect illusion of intimacy. But behind that illusion, an invisible engine hums, algorithms tuned not to truth or care, but to attention. They feed on emotion, fear, desire, admiration, anything that keeps your gaze locked in orbit. Each like, each view, tightens the gravitational pull, until your world begins to spin around people you've never met. Our minds weren't built for this. Evolution gave us space for about 150 real relationships, faces we could touch, voices we could trust. But now, we simulate thousands. The tribe has become an infinite crowd, and the crowd never stops watching. We've mistaken visibility for value. Fame, once rare as lightning, now strikes 1,000 times a second, and every flash demands a witness. This is how fame hijacks the social brain, by turning empathy into economy and connection into consumption. At first, it feels harmless, a scroll, a smile, a brief escape into someone else's perfect life. But soon, the reflection turns hostile. Every image becomes a mirror of inadequacy, every success, a quiet reminder of your own invisibility. The more we watch, the more incomplete we feel. Anxiety grows like static, depression feeds on comparison, and somewhere inside, the self begins to shrink. Yet the system rewards this hunger. Entire economies now orbit around attention, an influencer industry that turns admiration into addiction. Each click, a transaction. Each view, a vote in a global popularity contest no one remembers entering. The result, a society rearranged not around wisdom, but visibility, where truth bends to trend and sincerity is filtered for engagement. We are a species that once sought meaning, now chasing metrics. And it doesn't stop at culture. It seeps into the fabric of civilization itself. Politics becomes performance. Science competes for spotlight. Even empathy, packaged, branded, and sold. We have become a civilization that worships fame more than survival. A planet glowing with connection, but starving for authenticity. In our quest to be seen, we've forgotten how to look at one another. We built gods out of people, and forgot they bleed like us. Maybe this worship can't be undone, only understood. Attention is not a flaw. It is a language of the mind. To notice, to admire, to follow, these are the instincts that kept our ancestors alive. We've always needed stories, heroes to guide us, symbols to hold the chaos together. Perhaps the problem isn't fame itself, but how we forgot to share the light. Once, admiration built communities. Now, it builds walls of glass between us. Maybe this is just what it means to be human in the age of mirrors. To love reflections we can never touch? Can admiration ever be pure again? Can we see without consuming? Or has the act of looking forever changed what it means to care? We don't know, and maybe that's okay, because not every mystery is meant to be solved. Every idol is a mirror, every follower a seeker. The faces we worship are not gods. They are projections of our own longing to be seen. The truth is, the light we chase in others was always our own. Fame is only a reflection of what we already value: creativity, beauty, strength, the courage to be visible. But these gifts were never meant for a chosen few. They belong to all of us. We can admire without surrendering, celebrate without comparing, be inspired without disappearing. Because every time we choose creation over imitation, curiosity over envy, we reclaim the light that fame borrowed from us. Perhaps the end of worship is the beginning of awareness, to see clearly, to love deeply, to shine together instead of alone. We do not need idols to feel infinite. We only need to remember that every human being is already made of stars.